I'll be gone till November, I'll be gone till November. Yo, tell my girl, yo, I'll be gone till November. January, February, March, April, May. I hear you crying, but girl, I can't stay. Can you guys hear me? I'm late because I was having what some call technical difficulties, but what I call user error every single time it's me. Tonight, ladies and a few solid gents, we've got a lovely guest. Let's see who's in here to hang out. Let's see if I can find... I definitely see Heather. Wanders in. You know how she gets to training that dog, and she's overcome. Hi.
No. Oh my God, I did it. Oh, I'm so scared. I made it.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about you. I knew you would be okay and you would get here. I sometimes am a little bit worried about Denise, but that's,
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I'm kidding. Well, while we wait on Denise, please tell everyone, what I know about you is this. This is how I wanted everybody to know how I met Heather, how I came across Heather. It was through leads. It was through leashes. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, was my association with you. And then I grew to know more about you and was like, oh my God, there's so much going on here. Oh, good. Denise is here. Perfect timing.
She made it.
Perfect timing. She made it. All the gal pals are here.
We made it.
Here she comes. Hi,
Denise. Hey, Denise.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
Good. She was so really worried. Well. She was worried.
Why are you worried?
I was like, Denise is flaky. Okay. I don't know if you know this about kidding. I said, I can barely even count on her. I don't even know.
I have been sitting here. Okay, but since you said that, I have to tell you something. I was outside brushing my dog at 3:15. This is important. So I'm brushing, right? And I said, I didn't have my phone with me, and my phone has an alarm because I got no memory. I'm like, it's like a nap. Mm-hmm. If I'm not doing, I forget. So I set my alarm, and I'm in the middle. I'm like, because I don't know what time it is. And I'm flying through the house, and the dog's like, what? And I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's okay.
That's what I said you were doing. I said, she gets out there, she gets to training those dogs, and she doesn't know what's going on.
And I don't like my dogs to be messy, mm-hmm. So you got to get that dead hair out. Yeah. You don't want your dog to look like you don't care about him. Mm-hmm. I always bathe in to go to a dog show. People are like, why? I'm like, do you go on a date? You don't take a shower? Of course I give my dog a bath.
You show up with dirty fingernails to the dinner.
No, I will. I'll show up dirty and dirty fingernails, but not my dog.
You gotta have standards, girls. You gotta have standards. That's right. That's a good one.
Heather, I don't remember how I met you. I knew about you around the time I ordered a leash, but I didn't have any connection with you personally. I just ordered the leash.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, maybe on TikTok we started to chat a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah, I think I started following you on TikTok because I was, I'm just always curious as to what's out there and got interested. And then I think I saw you with the leash and I was like, oh my God.
She's using it.
Yeah, no, I like that leash. And I do recommend it.
I appreciate it.
It's really easy to put on, and my dog didn't seem to mind, so it's a good deal.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that because it's, a lot of people have a lot of opinions, as we all know, and it's, I think the best thing about it is it does it can go along with just about any type of training. So it's like whatever type of training you do, you can figure out, a way that this tool could help, and clients love it because it is so simple and effective. And so that's the most important part. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you ladies for hanging out. And Denise, I have to tell you, thank you after my dog passed away for sending me your book. I that meant so much to me. So I've meant to reach out, and I left it at my house in Colorado. I was just reading it, and I left it out there. So I know that I got a book to go back to, but I did just want to say thank you for that. That was really very sweet and very awesome. So thank you.
Well, you posted something and I realized it was, people have different reactions to losing pets, I mean, for some people it's like, well, now I get another one, and I don't know that there's more than that to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then for other people it's so devastating they literally can't function. I've seen all those extremes, and you seem genuinely sad and like really conflicted with those decisions, and I was like, oh well, let's just pop it in the mail, and you know what, who knows, right?
I mean, it is. It's a hard choice. God, I don't even want to get dark like this right away. But I mean, you get to that point of like, he was a two-legged 14-year-old dog. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
So
So
that within itself is an amazing
yeah.
miracle. Yeah.
And so it's like, man, this guy like survived the jungle. Like that's how he lost his legs, was in the jungles of Taiwan. And it's just like mentally he was still so there. And that's for me is the hardest part. Like when they're kind of losing it, physically, mentally, or something quick happens, like that's a lot easier than when they're like fully there, but physically are so incapable. Like when I started having to carry them like up and down the hallway, I mean that it's just, yeah, it's just, you just know. So I'm always available when people are in those situations, because I don't know. I always want to do the best I can for the dog. I feel like we have that availability to be able to help them, and be there for them and not have them suffer. And I feel like that can be such a good thing. But such a struggle. It's such a struggle. So yeah, and you understand. You get it.
We do.
Yeah,
We absolutely understand.
I didn't have a dog for 5 years in between my last dog and Enzo, because
Wow.
I was so like, yeah, it was weird. I would like just go and sit in dog parks, and it was you guys, it got weird.
It got weird. What got it weird for me?
what.
Because I got down to 2. Most of my adult life I've had like 6.
Yeah.
But then I got camels, So then I got kids and I got camels, so I kind of made up for it. But that's crazy, like not having a dog. And then I got that. I got a new puppy. But
Nice. What is it? I can't tell. What kind of baby?
She's an XL bully, like nothing special or spectacular, but I went and looked at puppies. Like my neighbor had a puppy. I should never do that. But and I had just lost Utah, and I know better, right? And I haven't had a puppy in 15 years. I'm like the full on, like, I rescue everything, something finds its way into my life. But I was like, you know what? I'm really damn good at raising dogs. Like any puppy I've ever had has been amazing. Like, and it's been so long since I've had a puppy, 15 years. And so I was like, you know what? This is a good time. And I also had just was preparing to sell my business, Canine Lifeline, my business that I've run for 22 years. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but Canine Lifeline sold. So I'm full on like just doing Heather's Heroes.
Okay,
so
no, I did.
I did not know that.
I was like, wait. Okay, no, I did.
Yeah. So my
nosy.
Yeah. No, why? No, I don't talk about it a lot. I talked about it a little bit on a podcast, but it was kind of like, under wraps for a while through transition. But now it's like, out in the open. But yeah, I ran that business for 22 years, 35 employees, 100 to 160 dogs a day, 20,000 square feet, a lot. And so selling the business, like 3 days in, I'm like the mother-in-law in the kitchen, and I'm like, what do you guys need me to do? They're like, go home. I'm like,
we need you to get out.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean go home? I run this place, right? And so thank God for that right there, because I had no reason to get out of bed. Like I got 2 other dogs. I mean, my kids get me out of bed, but I mean, they're pretty self-sufficient. But yeah, I mean, it was like getting up, like potty training and crate training and all that. And so perfect timing to just have some purpose and, put something to it, because man, it's a weird transition. And I know not everybody will know that transition or will experience that transition, but man, it's been tough. It's been crazy. It's been, you know, a lot of like learning to slow down and learning like, you know, just I can do stuff I want to do and I don't have to be putting fires out all the time. And so it's been cool. It's been very cool, but a very
Wow.
unique experience.
Yeah. What an interesting, you're right. A lot of people will not go through that. They have their business and then that's their baby and they hang on to it. I mean, I can't imagine ever being like, I want to sell this now, but I know that that's a real possibility for every business owner.
Yeah, do you want to know what? Like, it never really crossed my mind, like, to sell. Like, I just assumed, you know, and I actually I have a really great team still. They're still there. The company I sold to is amazing. Great team. So I had a lot of freedom, right? But I never, ever, ever got away from the full on emotional responsibility. Like when something goes really wrong, we had a dog get away from a handler, get hit by a car. Dog survived. Dog survived, but absolutely crushed me. You know, and I was on the verge at that point of like, do I really want to sell? Like, I really have a lot of freedom and I make good money and I really enjoy this, you know, like coming and going as I please. But I mean, that day was literally like the point where I was like, I can never emotionally check out because I was the one. They have 2 dogs. These dogs have been coming to us forever. I absolutely love them. Rufus and Otto, Old English sheepdogs. They were the 2 dogs that came to us the whole time through COVID, like every day. Mom and dad are amazing, and I hope they get to see this because they're on Instagram. But they're amazing, and so luckily, you know, the dog survived. It's a lot. He still has a limp. They still come like 5 days a week for daycare after that. But you know, that moment of like he might not survive, and had them coming to pick up their other dog, you know, and handing them their other dog and their leash and their yeah, and not knowing, you know, what's going to happen because he had a fractured elbow, ruptured lung. I mean, it was so traumatic and just stupid mistake, like millions of perfect interactions. And then one mistake to that point of that dog almost getting killed. And it's just like, nope, I'm done. So like, you know, the emotional checkout. And then from that point, I mean, it still took me a year to sell. So it was like, you know, this last year was really weird in business training. I'm sure you guys have experienced it maybe a bit too, but yeah, but that was my trigger. I was like, I'm out, I'm done. And so it's weird because now financially and emotionally, I'm pretty free.
Yeah,
I'm pretty free.
So
yeah, so it's nice.
Do you think of it like if somebody said, "Are you retired?" What would you say?
I would say no. I would say that I'm I don't know, maybe like partially retired because I don't have that, but I would tell you what I do now is like most people's normal jobs, but I was going, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I really do way too much for way too long and burn myself out. So I feel like I'm at a pretty decent level right now, just with Heather's Heroes. I mean, we really are doing, I really focused a lot on like online courses because man, God, it's just evergreen being able to have people to give stuff to people online and education. You know, this tool, it's different. It's not the same as the gentle leader or the Halti and the way that I condition it and use it. I want people to know like, hey, this is educational. You know, it's not just a tool. It is a full technique, a full process, a full program. And so I focused a lot on that and just putting out like that educational stuff. So I feel like I could definitely say I'm retired because I have a ton of freedom, but technically, I mean, that can easily take up my day. And the cool thing is I can do with it as much or as little as I want to, really. You know, that's kind of the fun part. It's just out there. But yeah, the courses are out there. I'm actually getting ready tomorrow. Thank God, after a year, I'm just launching my Keep Calm and Play On. So dog socialization course. So for daycares, it is so lacking. I went to my first pet boarding and daycare expo in May in Vegas, and then I went to the East Coast one in Hershey. Oh my gosh, super fun times, like both super fun times. If you guys ever want to have a good time, those are great, 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 great to go to. But I just realized, there's some good content out there, but there's not enough good stuff out there about socializing dogs together. And for me,
Yeah.
that was a real part of my training philosophy was, social dogs are happy dogs. And we ran big socials every Saturday with our clients with dogs off leash. We would see 200 dogs before lunch in our socials, with
Wow.
their owners. So, super, super crazy. So I'm just getting ready to launch that one. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that stuff takes up time and getting the content and putting it together and, but man, it's worth it. Once it's there, it's just like, here you go. Here's that content. Here's that content. Here's that content. And I hope people eat it up because it's super awesome, super fun.
Well, online is the thing now. I know what you mean, though. I stepped back from FDSA a lot a couple of years ago, much less hands-on. It took about a year to kind of do my own thing. And then when I was ready, started integrating. I do a lot less of the day-to-day stuff now than I used to do. But by choice, I like marketing in the sense of, this is interesting. People define marketing different ways. To me, it just means being present in a way that over time sells your materials. It doesn't mean spending money on ads. It doesn't even it could be it could be whatever. I don't know. Each person's different. For me, marketing is just being present and educating. And I know that 99% of people won't buy anything, and that's fine. That's not even a problem. But 1% will. 1% will buy something, and the other 99%, maybe they just benefit. That makes me happy. But I thought I was doing less work than I was. And here's how I know. I take one day and I don't work. I take one day and I do not work. I go do something fun, and then I look at the list, right? Like it's like the backlog, the emails, the texts, the videos I didn't make, the issues, the meetings. Like I didn't even know I did meetings. The only time I know I do meetings is when I want to do something and I look at my calendar. It's like I can't do it. I got a meeting.
I got a meeting.
Like,
I got a meeting.
What did I do that? And so what you said, where you said you now do what a normal person does.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel now. I feel like now I do what a normal person does, just on a weird schedule.
Yeah.
Like I do most of my work.
People say that they're like, how can you keep up with all this? How can you do all this? It's like, I don't know. Like honestly, I've never known anything different. Like I've never had another job. I just like I said, canine, I started, and previous to that, I had, I was working as an animal control officer. I was working in shelters. I ran a large breed and pit bull rescue. And so I've never not known that kind of grind and that kind of hustle, like just to like do it, so like slowing down to like what most people would think of as a normal day to day is weird for me. But man, it's pretty pleasant. Yeah, I have one girl, me and this other chick, Alex, we run Heather's Heroes. We have one virtual assistant. And man, when she was kind of getting mad at me because I like came in like
virtual assistant
in
the United States.
She's in the Philippines. Our virtual assistant.
I tell this all the time. I used to have a virtual assistant in the Philippines. His name was Bobby
She's great.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah, this chick's amazing. And she does like all of our website stuff. Yeah. She answers all of our emails, all of our sales emails. She's amazing. Yeah, she's part of our team.
Engineering.
Yeah.
He was like or in college for engineering. He was super, super smart.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love having a VA, and it's amazing. And she can get all these other like certifications for things that we need, like anything that we need done, she can learn it, like and get a certificate for it. So it's great. But yeah, she's been with us. God, it's been like a year, and she's in all of our meetings when we have meetings. She's in all of our meetings. So it's super helpful. But yeah, I think like just having like, I don't know. I'm glad I had something to do though. I don't know what I would do because I do know people that when they sell, especially like a dog daycare or training or whatever, they lose all purpose, so luckily I still have, and I'm still teaching workshops, shadow programs. The company that actually bought Canine Lifeline, they're having me continue doing workshops there. So I'm going to be doing a daycare workshop because I was like, I don't know, how am I supposed to do a daycare workshop when I don't have a daycare workshop to teach it at? And especially at my place, like how we teach it and how we do it. So yeah, and now I'm traveling more to train too. So I'm, going out to see more people, and I love that. I just got back from doing a workshop in Belize, at the Humane Society that I work at. So
Oh,
so
that's
that
fun.
stuff brings me so much joy. It brings me just so much joy, and I love it. So it's awesome. So I like being busy in that way, not in the way that I have to be busy, like worrying about dogs 24/7 in a massive
Hmm.
boarding facility. That's a definitely like
Different kind
a
of
relief. Yeah,
responsibility. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
that's a pretty heavy level of stress. What I do like
Hmm.
about my life is it's on my schedule. So by
Yeah.
choice, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I work in bed usually for an hour and a half. That's my most productive time because nobody's bothering me.
Same.
Hey,
I mean, but I
Zoe,
love that
Yep.
did
that
you hear
I can
that? You
decide
hear that?
what.
She sleeps in. She sleeps in. You need to start doing that.
Well, the dogs they get their breakfast, they get to the bathroom, and then they go back in their crates until 7. So
Okay. Yeah, I
they
guess I
kind
guess
of
we're
got
on like
that
the same
drill.
schedule. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
so
it.
that works okay. But I love that then I can, that's usually when the dogs go out. That's when I train or run them or what I'm going to do. And I love that the flow of the day is generally my own. Also, I am
Yeah.
practically not functional after about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Like, do not ask me a question if you want an intelligent response,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
Hmm.
I just shut down. And I think 9 o'clock is a fantastic bedtime. I don't know why anybody would object to such a wonderful bedtime as 9
Same.
a.m., 9 p.m.
same girl,
Down,
same. Yeah, I
down.
dig that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Dig it.
New Year's Eve I celebrated the East Coast because it was just a little easier on me. Well, that's so close.
Oh, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, girl. That's the way to be.
I
Yeah.
think how do you think that people get to that point? Because I know a lot of dog trainers out there, or maybe if they're in, a different industry and it sounds similar. I know for me, it was a lot of efficiencies. I had to have a lot of
Hmm.
efficiencies, a lot of systems that would repeat automatically, um, so that I could have this like kind of free flow schedule that Denise is talking about.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what it is. I have these certain things that I have to do during the day. I also get up and work in bed for an hour because no one is bothering me. No one's momming, doing the mom thing. No one's beep boop booping on the phone. So I do the same thing, and then I start getting my kids ready, and I will do mom stuff during that time. But then once the kids are in school, well, the one kid that's still left in school, yeah, I have just things that I need to do, and I can take care of those when I want. Sometimes it's that I want to work with Enzo first. Sometimes it's I want to go ride my horse because the weather's going to be bad later, and if I don't ride right now, then I won't get, so that is nice. But what do you think got you from working all the time to now I'm here with a business that kind of runs itself? What were the key components? Asking for a friend.
Well, I would say for me, I mean, I had to learn to trust and to delegate. Like to run such a massive operation, I had to learn to trust and to delegate. And that did not happen until, probably like 4 years ago, because it was, a lot of just being really super involved, in the business. But there is a difference between being a business owner and being your own employee in the business. And
Mm,
to really gain freedom, you have to be willing to put things on other people. Like even as a solo entrepreneur, let's say, you still have to be able to delegate certain things that take up your time. Like
yeah.
I tell people all the time, like get somebody to answer your phone and emails. Like, why are you wasting your time doing that? Well, but I'm the only person that can do that. Bullshit. You're not the only person that can do it. Everybody can do it. Like, but trainers, they're the worst. They think that they are the only ones that can answer phones and emails and like
Hmm.
and like give all the detail and give all the information. It's like, no, that's the one thing that's going to take up so much of your time. And especially once I let that go, which I let that go a long time ago at my business, they don't even let me answer the phones because I give shit away for free all the time too. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, come on in, or I schedule stuff. Like they would not let me on the phones, like because they literally are just like, oh my God, she just gives away so much stuff. And I'm because I can, I'm like, yeah, no, we could totally get you in on Christmas. Like, next week. And yeah, we got total kennel space. Don't answer. But yeah, you've got to be willing to delegate. Even as a solo entrepreneur, you want to offload the things that you can so that you can get to that point of freedom and be able to shut down. I feel like in today's society, we can't do that. Like as people, like especially you guys, like content creation, right? How do you walk away for a week to go on vacation and not have to continue, feel like you have to create content? Yeah.
I wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
Everything
And
I
that's
do
hard.
is direct
Yeah.
sales. Every single thing I do is direct sales through stories. So I have to have a system for when I'm gone. Like I either have to be
that's
doing something really cool so I can take videos of it, or I have to have something prepared. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, just being able to like offload a lot of stuff, like marketing for me was a big one, but finding a good marketing team was real hard.
Oof.
I've wasted thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, and I finally have like the best marketing company I'm working with, and I love them all. Yeah, they're amazing, but it takes so much off my plate. Like I don't have to do anything. I'm like, okay, great, you do that. I mean, I do a lot of the simple stuff, but I mean, like the courses and things like that, like they're just out there selling, so it works out really well. But yeah, I mean, to get to that freedom, you've got to be willing to let it go, though, too. And you've got to be able to take time for yourself, and you've got to realize, sometimes you've got to let certain things go. And that was the hardest thing for me, is like learning to trust other people. I still don't, but I've gotten better.
Denise,
I've gotten better.
Let's do the opposite of that. What about the people that are in business and they want to delegate everything before they know how to do any of those things?
Ooh,
You know what I'm
that's
talking about?
so good. Such a good question.
I was one of those people. That was me. So asking retroactively for a friend.
Asking for that other friend. Man, you got crappy friends.
Yeah.
You need to upgrade.
I know. They're all named Jerry. It's so annoying.
That's so weird.
So when the first thing I was thinking is, how do you get to that point? As a young person, I was a pretty hardcore workaholic. So I have had outside jobs before I did my own thing, and I was working 70 hours a week. So I was working for but I was working double shifts.
Wow.
Same.
Because I made money, and I was driven by money. So I was 22, 23, 24, 25, and I was working a lot of hours because the money, right? So it was like, it's interesting because my kids are not driven by money, which is just bizarre to me. But for me, it was a big deal because I could have a car.
I hear what you're saying. I just want to counter that with, I was also driven by money, but chose exotic dancing.
Did you make money?
Girl.
Did you make money?
A lot of money, and
we're on the same page.
Well, there you go.
We practically did the same thing.
Yeah, I wanted the money. I didn't want to
So
work
the thing
those
is,
stinky
I started
70 hours.
If I was a dog, I was driven, and that drive. So then I ended up getting my master's degree, but I worked full time and got my master's degree at night. So again, young and I couldn't do that today, but I was young and pushing and driven. So when I got my own business, for me to work morning till night, I wanted to do it. And I think, at least again, look at the age and all that. So when I was starting my own business, I was just in a different place. I remember one year I traveled 38 weekends teaching around the country, and then would come home. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. Don't recommend it either.
Stressful.
Well, you just adapt, but then you come home and you're working. So I think it really helped that I just have a drive to work. But then as I started to not want to work that hard, what Heather's talking about delegating, I'm actually a natural delegator. It's very easy for me to delegate. I trust people way beyond what is reasonable. I am such a Pollyanna, you can't even believe it.
I lean that way as well.
Yeah, but the good news is that Pollyanna has been very lucky about finding amazing staff. My staff have been with me for a long time. They don't leave. And it's a very good relationship. If you don't like to be supervised, I'm a great person to work for. Because here's what you need to do. Do it.
Yeah.
My attitude is do it. If you have a question or problem, ask me about it. I do not care when you do it. I don't care how many hours it takes you. I don't care you spend your free time. But half the time, I'm talking to my staff. I'm like, where are you? She's like, Hawaii. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like, I don't care. Get your job done. And if you have a problem, let's talk about it. And my staff are so good at that. They're also so good at supporting each other. So if somebody gets sick, it's like a non-issue. Somebody else just steps up and says, I can take care of that. And there's enough different
Wow.
people, and they're around the world. So that means like our help desk is covered, because
Yeah.
I started to make a point of like Canada, the US, the Eastern US, Australia, and that actually really helps. But to me, delegating is easy. I know for some people it's painful, but I just have a lot of natural trust, and then I get lucky. I just find people who, what I look at, what attracts me to people is just the way they interact with their kindness. I reach out to them because they're just so consistently front center kind, like on my Facebook list, kindly answering questions, thoughtful. And I just, eventually I'll reach out to those people and I'll say, you're impressive to me. And I just want to know, I don't know what your situation is, but if you ever wanted a few hours on the side, let me know. And if they say yeah, then I'll ask them questions like, what's your skill set? So I find the people, not the job. I'll worry about the job later.
Yeah.
I want good people. Then I start to look at their skill set. What do you like to do? And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll let you know if something comes up. And then let's say something comes up on Instagram. I need somebody to run my Instagram thing. I'll contact that person. I'll say, I think you said you enjoy social media type stuff. Would you be interested in doing this? Yeah, they want to do that. So they'll come in, they'll do just a little bit at first. And then, next thing you know, how are your writing skills? You got some writing skills, you want to work on the email. And then it builds from there. I think there's a lot to be said for picking people and finding work for them rather than the reverse. Because once you have a certain, and I don't know how many people work for me, how many staff, but enough that they have different skill sets. So if one of them is like, that Instagram thing you asked me to do a few years ago, I'm like, yeah. And she'll say, I hate it beyond reason. So at that point, it's like, oh, all right. Let's see if somebody else would like to do that. And there's a good chance somebody else is like, I love social media marketing. Fine, you take that. Why don't we give you this? It works,
Yeah.
And I think slowing down, age, I hate to say it, but I really think getting older has settled me a lot. And that kind of 16-hour a day thing is not fun anymore. I'm not driven by money the way I was when I was young. It's like, you got enough. Like your mindset kind of changes. I used to just accumulate for the sake of accumulating, and I just don't do that anymore. So that kind of backed me up, but you get good systems in place. I think you said that, there's like efficient systems that run. And I'm always, when I'm looking at a situation, like at my ranch, we have a ranch hand, he's full-time, but eventually I'd like to get that down to part-time. And my whole mental model is, what are the processes we're doing here? And are we duplicating energy? Like I found out that they were moving feed troughs to the different pastures. I'm like, what? Like, the water things. I'm like, are you kidding? It costs, I don't know, $50 in infrastructure to put one in each pasture. It cost me $50 to have him move it. So like my brain is just like, what? Are you? No. I'm always thinking about like fences. If you put in the fences and the cows aren't getting out, we're not spending our time rounding them up. So time should be spent on infrastructure-based things so that you get systems in place so you're not wasting time redoing things. You make I'm big picture, like make the big picture easier, and then you're not fighting fires. And eventually it smooths out. Like the lady who had the ranch before me, oh my God, she had no concept of infrastructure. And so all the roads were destroyed, the drainage was destroyed, cost a lot of money to undo it because she liked things to look nice. So she would put in fancy bricks and all this. I'm like, I don't care about any of that. These roads have to be fixed. This drainage has to be solid. Later on, we can talk about making things look good, but for now. So right now it's time intensive because I have to pretty hardcore manage what's going on there. Because if I don't, it starts drifting back to day-to-day activity.
Well, that goes
and I'm like,
with
no.
any business. That's any business. Like you got to put in the time, the energy to put all those systems into place. So like Jerri, what you were saying, like, like you just jumped in, starting from that side, the original question to Denise, like jumping in from that side versus like the building up is, I feel like a lot of people get into that trouble where they don't take the time and the energy to put in the systems. And that's where that leads to burnout. Because it's not replicatable, it's not easy, it's not simple. It literally just gets so much harder and harder because you're having to repeat yourself over and over and over again, whether it's training somebody new. Yeah, you will get you'll definitely build resentment. So I definitely having that stuff in place and putting the time and the effort at the beginning is so much easier than trying to do it later. Like even like with people, when I deal with a student who wants to, you know, to me to coach them like on a business side or whatever, which I don't do much. I really don't do much because it's exhausting. But I'm like, okay, well, have you gotten your business license? Do you have a EIN number? Do you have a bank account? No, 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 no. But how long have you been charging people to train dogs? How long have you been, you know what I mean? Like there's this stuff that so many people, not just in our industry, but in a lot of industries, just skip over because they just want to do the dog stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, there, you gotta do this stuff first. Like you gotta do this stuff first. Like, I mean, do whatever you want. Don't be legal if you don't want to be. But I mean, if it's, you know, but I have also seen kennels shut down. Shut down because, and then people bitch because they go, well, they came in and they did this. Or it's like, no, 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 no. You didn't take the steps to make sure that everything was legal in the first place. And that does lead to burnout because you're going to constantly be thinking about that if you're not running legal stuff, putting all those things in place, making sure the infrastructure is there. It's just going to lead to burnout. Like do all the time intensive stuff while you're young and dumb and then appreciate it as you get older. Like that's where I got to, where I was like, man, now that I'm older, I don't have to put in as much time and energy. Like Denise said, I do not have the energy now to do what I did before. Could I do it again? No way. Like absolutely not. I couldn't. I do not have the energy for it. And even with animals, like my animals here, I'm never going to get another Texas Longhorn to train for riding because that was hard. That was really hard. So, like, you know, so you kind of got to do all this stuff.
What I have learned is that no more Longhorns.
No more Texas Longhorns. Yeah, that and camels. Like I get older camels now. Like, yeah, I get older ones now.
I've learned so much.
This is important. Jerry, now we're getting to the meat of the matter. These are the kind of things that we're going to learn. We won't make these mistakes. What did I just learn? Don't get a Longhorn because it's a lot of work. And I also learned that if I do decide to get a camel,
get an older
I need
one.
to get an older one. I'm too old to have a young camel.
And don't be letting it out with the horses to terrify the horses.
No,
Heather's like, Jerry, this isn't a funny video. What the hell is this?
No, I just got that video sent to me again.
Like, no.
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm like the only person most people know that own camels, right? So how many videos every time I get all the videos? I get all the videos. So I just got the video. Oh my God, isn't this cute? Like, look at how cute this is. I'm like, oh my God, the FU stomps and like the head tossing. I'm like, that camel is gonna kill those horses. Like all the stuff. It's like all just like, you know, like when you see the video, the picture. I think I sent to you, Jerry, like the kid like hugging the dog, you know, and the dog is about to maul the child. Like that's what I see when I see those videos. So once you know, you can't unknow. So I wish even for dogs, I could go back to those days of like, oh my God, that's so cute.
I know.
You know what? I just saw a conference advertised, and I want to say it was a veterinary thing.
Oh no!
And it showed a vet face to face with a dog, and it's so. I mean, it was fine, sweet, whatever. But I look at it the way you do, Heather. I never put my face near anybody else's dog. Never.
No.
It's like instinctual for me to turn away. I don't want dogs in my face because I know what can happen.
I don't want dogs within 5 feet of me if I don't know them. Seriously, like I have that much respectful fear of dogs. And how many people have tried to get me killed by their dog because I'm a dog trainer? They're like, oh, he's friendly. Oh, no, he's not. And like,
you have to touch him.
Yeah,
you have to touch him.
just
I
pet
don't
him.
have to do
He's
nothing.
fine. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah, no, I have 5 feet, girl. 5 feet. Not even face to face. 5 feet.
If your dog and I are meant to spend time together, it will find its way to me quietly and privately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not right now.
Yeah.
But not in my face. Yes. I don't care how well I know your dog.
No.
I don't want my face to your dog's face.
No, God, no. No. And that's crazy.
What other animals do you have besides the longhorn, the camels, the horses, what else
I don't have horses. I quit horses.
Horses.
I did, but okay, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Horses are not as cool as camels.
Oh yeah, you told me that one time. You were like, I can't go back.
I can't because, oh my God, okay, girl, the way they learn, like horses are so dumb. Like once I started getting, it's like, okay, I mean, I want to make like some dog comparison, but it might not be a good one. Like it's just like when you get like that next level dog and you're like, oh my God, what have I been doing with this?
Yeah.
Like, the whole time. You know, where I'm like,
Well, I think it's
geez,
similar
like,
to like it's probably a larger leap, almost like a horse to a mule. And when you get a
yeah,
mule, you're like,
very much so, very much so.
wow.
Same. They think so similar. Like they
Oh,
think so
okay.
similar. So what people get really confused about is that that they're stubborn, they're mean. They're not. They just think more clearly. They think much more like dogs. Like they really do think clearly. Like with a horse, they react. These guys will always think before they react.
Wow.
They'll
Okay.
always think. So like if anything, like okay, like if my camels get charged by off-leash dogs, my camels will stop and be like, "What?" You know, and then maybe they'll move, maybe they'll kick them, maybe they'll stomp them to death. That's never
Oh,
happened, but
but they
but
could. Yeah.
just saying, you know, it could, but you know, they do think first. So once I learned that, then it started scaring me being around the horses. 'Cause I'm like, man, you're so goddamn unpredictable.
Oh,
Like in comparison to the camels, I'm like, my camels are so predictable
yeah.
and easy to deal with versus
The
horses,
amount
where I'm
of
like,
repetition that horses need is almost mind-numbing.
and they
I
still
I don't
spook.
think
Even the
people, and they
best,
still
they
spook.
still spook. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't handle that. Like my heart can't handle that. So yeah, so the horses went, and then I just kept getting more camels. And then I have two pigs. So I have two pigs, Gertie and Googie.
Oh
And then I do have a
my
donkey.
God, that's
I do have a
cute.
donkey as well. So
A
I have a
dog?
large donkey, a
A
donkey. Yeah, so
dog.
she's great. Yeah, she can ride. She's older, so I don't ride her a lot. But oh my God, if I could have 500 of them, I would, because they're the sweetest
Donkeys?
animals. Yes. Oh,
I
they're so
know.
nice. And she
I
comes up to the
love them.
fence and just hee-haws and like, oh my God, they just want to follow you
They're
around. Like she
so
literally, I'll let her
cute.
out. She'll follow me around the yard and you know, they're so great. They're so great. And the ears. I can't get over the freaking ears. So,
But don't
yeah,
don't
so
they want to kill? They want to kill dogs.
they do. Yeah, they definitely do. And it's because they want to kill. Well, I lost a goat to a coyote.
Oh, oh
So the
yeah.
donkey
So they're
was
like,
yeah, the donkey was a good addition to the family. My
yeah,
next, like I'm moving out to Colorado. I think I'm gonna end up getting some sort of livestock guardian dog out there, but
yeah.
we'll
Where are
see.
you gonna
We'll see what
move?
happens. I'm moving to just outside of Steamboat Springs, Colorado. So it's
Really?
Clark is where I'm at. So like little tiny
I have
town,
a
but
client.
I'll be in
I have
Springboat.
a client that lives
Where are
there
you now?
right
I'm in Utah.
now.
I'm just outside of Salt Lake in Utah, so it's like 6 hours from here. But yeah, but that's like that is considered like Dogtown, USA, as Steamboat Springs.
Yeah,
So, but I bought
I have
a
like three clients there
girl.
right
Girl,
now.
we got to get together. You should come out. Like
I
Yeah,
like
for
Colorado.
real. It's such a cool place. It's amazing. And I just saw
I'll
you
be
were in
there this
Colorado not
weekend.
too long ago.
Yeah, I'll be there again. I leave in 2 days again for another skijoring competition
Yeah,
in
they're all
Grand
over.
Lake.
Yeah, they do one down Main Street and Steamboat. So, you know, that's you're all over it. I love it.
Yeah, the Main Street ones are really fun. This Grand Lake one is an inaugural race. But it's a Main Street race. So it'll
That's
be I
awesome.
said, well, you tell a gal from Kansas there's a straight race. She's winning. She's winning immediately.
Done. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
once I move my camels out there, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the talk of the town because they're
that's gonna be great.
everyone that knows I'm moving, like, oh man, we used to have a camel. His name was Larry. He would be in the parade every year. I'm like, dude, I'm on. Like, I cannot wait. I will have my camels in the parade. They'll be
I
in town whenever they can be. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I expect to see those camels. I will
Mhm.
be definitely inviting
I
myself
got
when we're
you.
in
I got
Colorado.
you.
Yeah,
I
it's so
got you.
cool. I just love them. There's a guy that has a huge property out here, and he's got camels that will just come up and let you pet them right
Yeah.
on the side of the
Yeah.
road. They're just so
You
beautiful.
actually where you're at, there's a lot of camel people out there. I feel like the US like USDA standards, not that camels require USDA, but they do if you're using them for business, which
Mm.
I don't. It's like my super extreme psycho hobby. But I feel that in your area there is a lot of camel people, because it seems like the USDA has, I don't know if it's more lenient there or what, but
Wow.
a lot more camels, a lot more zebras, a lot more,
Well,
just people who
yeah,
have
in
camels
Oklahoma, you're
have a
gonna
lot of
find
other animals.
everything because you can
Yeah,
own anything that you want. There's no even a
yeah,
skunk. You can even have a skunk, which is illegal in all of the rest of the
yes,
United States for
yeah,
obvious reasons of rabies, of
yeah, yeah.
of them
And
having the
I
rabies and
think,
you not knowing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. That wouldn't be on the top of my list. I did have one as
I
a
mean,
kid.
people
We
have
got one, but
bears.
yeah,
It's not something that I think is always appropriate or ethical.
yeah.
Um, but I was happy to be one of the people that worked for an exotic animal vet, so I could
Mhm.
take care of them. I just don't know how I feel about having like an arboreal animal in my house. Like this, I knew this ring-tailed lemur named Cooter Brown, and
Why not?
yeah, his name was Cooter. And
Good old
his
Cooter.
mom and dad were probably, I would say, 60-ish. And I believe they did have children that were, grown gone. And the dad told me that they can't have anything on the walls or the mantles because when he gets out in the morning, and they live in one of those houses that's like a couple stories, but it's like a loft kind of, so you can see up into the top.
Mhm.
And here comes Cooter, and he's just swinging off the fan and swinging off. And I thought, huh, what makes a person what makes a person want a lemur? What makes a person want a spider monkey? I know we're getting a little off
Girl,
track here, but I think this is a good
I
way
will
to have the
I will tell
conversation.
you, a lot of the people that I know, that because they're in the camel community, right?
The
Like, I mean, there is
the
such
monkey
a,
people are in the camel
yes,
community? Oh
100%. Yeah, people
God.
that have camels, they have zebras, they have monkeys, they have tigers. I mean,
Yeah,
they've got,
for
it's
sure,
like this, it's like the
tigers.
same vein, it's like the same vein. So, I mean, a lot of them that I have met, there definitely issues. There's definitely issues, definitely issues. And
Well,
I
Have you
mean, it
yeah,
guys
takes a
seen
lot.
Chimp Crazy?
you've got to be more specific. What kind of an issue lands you with a tiger?
Well, that's a whole nother one. I will tell you, my friend Carrie, amazing. She has a zoo up in Michigan, private zoo, amazing, amazing. She has a hippo. She has hyenas. She has and this is a chick that loves, loves, loves animals. Does it for the love of what she does. But getting away from the tigers. But when you're thinking about the monkey community, have you guys seen that
That's
new
why I kept
film?
saying Chimp
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Chimp
It's
Crazy. Watch
yeah,
it.
it's pretty much the
It's
same.
that.
It's like the same mentality. And the I almost don't even want to say some of this stuff, but I get insider information from people sometimes that are working around some of these people, and the care of the animals is not great. It's like the care goes so heavy
Hmm.
into maybe one new baby animal,
Hmm.
but then everything else gets neglected, whether it's the camels, the zebras, so it's such a hard thing. And
Yeah.
I think with monkeys, because they're perpetual children, I
Hmm.
feel like that plays into it a lot. Like
Yes.
the mothering, the parenting,
Lot of capuchins.
yeah,
Lot of
yeah.
capuchins out
Man,
there
I'm
with
glad my
no
kids are out of
teeth.
diapers. That's all I'm saying. I would never take on an animal that would have to be in diapers its entire life.
I'm not going to
No,
take on
no,
an
no,
animal that you need to
no,
remove the canine teeth from. I'm not. I
no. I
mean,
no.
it's a really, really interesting community. Um, I never was able to fully understand. I tried not to judge them, and I wanted to help them provide medical
Yeah,
care to their animals, and I thought, that the animals deserved that. But I just remember this one little ring-tailed lemur. Her name was Mia, and she was little.
that's way better
And the
than cooter.
the yeah, yeah, well, Cooter was older and healthy. But this little lemur, these people spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and the nurses and I would go on rotation. We were so concerned about her. We were up there at 3 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
trying to feed her, and I mean weird stuff. And I just remember thinking this is a reach for me. This is a really interesting, and I think more so because I knew that that was not a life for that animal, that they're
yeah,
not domesticated, they're not This isn't something like when I think about camels, I think a camel, the camels that I see anyway out where I live, look like they're perfectly happy.
Mm-hmm.
They're in these beautiful pastures. They've got friends. You know, they look well taken care of. It doesn't seem like a camel would require a ton of, you know, diapering and things like
Yeah,
that.
well, and they're, you know, they're
As
outside, like
opposed to some of the
they're
other
not in your
exotics.
home. Like, I mean, it's like dogs, you know, it's like dogs, cats, you know, an animal that you choose to bring into your home, that's different.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally different than being out, like them being out in a pasture. You know, doesn't mean that they can't have neglect and abuse and that kind of stuff. But I mean, an animal in your home and what that looks like and the care that that requires is huge. I mean, it's just, it's another
Especially
level.
when they could like crush your skull with one bop, or like
Yeah.
snatch your face off and you could still live, people.
Well, you know,
She lived.
I hate to see it, but girl, we got dogs like that. I mean, this is why, you know, we do, why we do live. And I was going to say, like, there still is, like, the mentality is out there. The same mentality is out there with certain dog people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
it's, you know, whether it's a
Get
hoarder,
this
whether,
scenario.
yeah,
And you're like, what?
yeah, why? Why? What are you
So
doing?
that actually made me kind of think about a couple things, but about the so sometimes trainers say if we can train a whale or a dolphin with positive reinforcement, we can train a dog. It's not, I don't have an argument with that. I train positive reinforcement. It's not about what you can do or can't do. But it always just disturbs me because I want to say yes, but the whale doesn't live in my house.
Yes.
And so
that is behind a glass thing.
It's
there's a
protected contact. Protected contact, not the same.
difference
Mhm.
between training an animal to do a blood draw. It's easy to teach behaviors with positive reinforcement. I will take on anyone who wants to argue about that. But that's not how you spend most of your time. Most of your time is just kind of like, that's how you spend your day, right? You got a couple dogs in your house with you. I'm not training them. They're just here. If it was just a whale in the middle of my living room, things get more complicated, you know? So I've always been a little bit uncomfortable. And then the second part of that is even when you're talking about seriously problematic dogs, the scary ones.
Yeah.
The whole thing about training them, I have the same response. I'm like, what do you mean train them? Because
there's no training.
Are you saying
It's management. It's management.
Yeah.
Because
there's
unless
no
you're
training
convincing that you can fundamentally change the character of a dog who is dangerous, where are we going with this conversation? Like, how do you train out certain things? You don't, if you're honest. If you're
would
honest
need
about it,
years and years and years of reform because we see it in human beings, and it
but
takes years.
even then you put that
reform,
you put that one line of Coke down in front of them. Done.
In front of and at the right.
That's why it's
time
rehab. That's why they're constantly in rehab. They're never fixed. Never fixed. And you know, anyone wants to argue, I have a presentation I do called Rehab Reality. It is this exact topic where it's just like, hey, it's management. Like, there's a difference between management and training. And if you haven't learned or know the difference, you haven't come across that dog yet, or you're just too novice to admit that, hey, not all dogs are fixable and not all dogs are trainable, and management will break down. And unfortunately, when management breaks down, sometimes it's a 3-year-old in the home that suffers the consequences. That was my last big scary case, was a freaking bull mastiff, and the 3-year-old came into the bed, and the dog was in the damn bed. And I told them, I said, what are you doing? Why was the dog in the bed instead of in the crate? And then their next question was, do you know anyone that would be willing to take the dog? He's such a good dog.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, we could
It's
go
an
on for
epidemic
hours.
in our
we easily could go on for hours.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy because then they think they can fix it. Like my own dog, I love my dog to bits, but he's a Belgian. He's a lot of dog. He's a powerful dog. He is managed every single minute of his day. Doesn't mean he's not a pet. He lives in the family, but I don't just leave the house for a few hours with him loose with other people coming, because I have family who bring people over. I'm always thinking, always paying attention. And it's not about training it out of him. It's about learning to work with him and live with him in a way that works for all of us. And it's not, there's nothing simple about it. And people are like, oh, he's so nice. And I'm like, I love that you love my dog. I do. I love that people love my dog. But I said, I just want to be clear about what it's like. I try to be more open and more honest than most. Like, I show how I handle them at the vet: muzzled, drugged, managed.
Yep. Yeah.
And I show it because I want people to say, I'm not cruel about this. It's kind of, well, why don't you train him to cooperative care? I said, it would not be safe. I have staff to think about. This needs to be a safe event, and we make it safe and as low stress as I can. But I try to show it, but I know at root people don't get it. I know they don't understand what I'm saying.
They don't.
And of course you don't see problems. I never see him show anything. Of course not, because I am managing him. If I'm in public, he is under control, and I am not losing attention. So of course you're not seeing anything.
Yeah, you're not the average dog owner. The average dog owner with that exact same dog, no. It would not be possible. Like his, his sensitivity,
disaster.
The fact that you have accommodated and worked with him in the way that you have, and are so understanding to his temperament, his personality, his sensitivities is great, like that's awesome. That's how it should be. But the average pet owner, no. I mean, they can't handle a golden retriever under that.
Yeah.
He has to have rehab, so he has to go to the vet twice a week.
Oh, Lord.
A long time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So my friend said to me, are you going to drop him off? I said, that's the funniest thing I've heard this year. Like, I'm going to bring him to the clinic, hand him over to the lady, and say, his name is Zen. Now, Zen, no bitey the people, right? Like,
no bitey.
His name is Zen.
No bitey, honey. Good boy. Bye-bye.
No bitey. And so the vet's telling me,
people
she's like,
do that, you guys.
I know. Well, the worst part is when they don't know their dog. Yeah, when they don't know their dog.
I'm lucky because this clinic is really awesome, and they're like, there's no problem. We're going to show you how to do what needs to be done. We'll be there with you. It's going to be fine, But it was just like, I just thought that was so funny, and I realized that most people actually drop their dog off and go wait in the parking lot. I'm like, wow, what a privilege. What a different world.
But I feel like, okay, well, and Jerri, you can say this too, though. I mean, realistically, though, Denise, you're an exception. Most dogs are going to be better without that owner there.
Yeah,
you handle in the way that you need to for that dog. Yeah. I would handle my dog, and this new puppy, guys, she's super sensitive. Like, she's super sensitive. I am doing everything I can to help move that out of her, and at vet appointments, I hang out and make sure she's calm and hanging out. But, most people aren't going to be able to handle that. So sometimes it is. And even for me, running a daycare that accepts all dogs, I've never turned a dog away. Well, used to, but never turned a dog away ever. I got dogs like that all the time, and they'd be like, okay, bye. And I'm like, don't worry, I got it, but that's me on the other side, handling it. So I feel like sometimes in the vet industry, it's like, not being there is one thing. I've had the situations where vets would not allow me to handle my dog, and I was furious. Like, it was in medical emergency situations, and I was mad because I knew I could handle that dog better than they ever could. And not traumatize them. But I get it, because they're dealing with the 99% of the general public who can't, and will make a scenario even worse. So,
are we at our 5? Are we going to get cut off? I just want to make sure.
We're about
to.
Smile. We got to smile right now for a picture. Everyone smile. Okay, we got that.
All right.
Good.
Now we can just keep going.
Now we can keep going, because if we get cut off, that'll just be it. Yeah,
it's traumatic.
I like this topic that we've gone into, because a lot of people will come to me and ask me about cooperative care during training, and I'm like, my best friend has a great course on that. I'll tell you a bunch of vet tech holds if you want to know how to get something done, if that's what you're asking. But all of my dogs, like, we used to, whenever we would get new, this just sounds terrible. We would get new EKG machines, and Enzo would stand on the table, and we would hook him up to every single thing, and make sure every single, because I was helping set up an animal hospital that was new, and
that's awesome.
And he was our little guinea pig, and he just had to, I can draw blood from him with him just standing there, from his jugular vein, just like this. I can draw blood from his cephalic vein by himself. That was the way I always approached it. And so cooperative care wasn't an area that I ever drifted into, but I'm glad there are people out there that do it.
Yeah.
I love it for home stuff. I'm all about it. Really, it took forever, but I got my little dog to accept nail trims. He was panicking. He was one of
My
those dogs that
first thing, nail trims, nail trims, nail trims.
And also, I
Um,
taught that chin rest. One of my
Yeah.
top 5 behaviors. I can put my dog's chin on the couch, and if I think there's something on the body I'm not loving, that dog does not move. I can look at the feet, the tail, the balls, the underside, anything I need to see. No movement. That's very hard to do by yourself if your dog
Yeah.
doesn't hold 100%. So that chin rest, I get my monies out of a few things. One is the chin rest. Another one I should have done way back when was to lay down on his side, and I'm teaching it now because
mm,
that would make some
This is
stuff
so
easier for me.
valuable. And
So
then when
useful.
you get and then you get the real good vet tech hold where you get a leg over their neck. It's gentle. And then I could literally hold a dog and trim all of its nails by myself. It's this
lovely.
really weird but yeah, you have to and the dogs get used to it. They come
Yeah.
in, they get their cookies,
Hmm.
and it's nice. A lot of patterning there as well.
Well,
I'm
I
not
think with
recommending
vets,
everyone go
it's
and put their leg on their dog's neck, by the way. That is not
yeah.
where that.
It went right there. Everyone took it at that.
FYI.
Like they're just like, oh my God, just put my leg on their neck. Done. Well, and I
Like
think
it's a wrestling move where you're on
Yeah,
the top of the dog and the
yes.
leg is
it's a
over the
full
neck.
Nelson.
Well, just
It's
choke
a full
them
Nelson
out.
nail
Just
trim.
choke them out. You'll have
Yeah.
no problem doing their
There.
nails. Great. No, I feel
Somebody
with
is
vets though,
recommending that.
it's stressful because you're there and the vet needs to do their job. And so if you don't have a
Hmm.
vet who's understanding or a care team that's understanding that like you're trying to do training, like just like I said, my dog has a vet appointment on Friday. And I'm like, ooh, I want to go in early. I love having the sidekick on my dogs at the vet, and I actually like having the muzzle on over. I don't have it with her
Okay.
yet, but I love the pressure on and pressure off of being able to help her calm down at the vet like that. It makes a huge difference. But I feel like it just gets so rushed, and everybody at the vet, all the
Yeah.
other clients there are like, their dogs are idiots, and then my dog gets to be an idiot, and then I feel weird, and I'm still trying to like do what I'm doing, just like put blinders on and be like, man, I gotta help guide my dog through this, and I
Hmm.
feel a lot of people don't know how to guide their animals through stressful situations like that without practicing previous.
Yeah.
Like everything should happen way before you're ever in the vet's
Hmm.
office, like practicing those holds and those moves and having a muzzle on and having the sidekick on or, being able to calm your dog in stressful situations. It should be practiced long before you get into the
Hmm.
vet's office so that it's not as hard. But man, I'll tell you, even when I'm there and my dog's struggling, I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, but I'm not. I'm
I
really
know.
trying. I want to help her so much. Like, I want to help her so much. Like,
I hope you get the perfect vet in Colorado because I have been so fortunate. My regular vet, my local emergency vet, my rehab vet, they
love
all let
that.
me handle my own
Mhm.
dog. They all let me leave my dog in the car until it's time to come in. I wait alone, and we have such a good routine. But I talk to other people whose vets are just they're put like I tell the vet I will pay for a longer appointment. I have no qualms
Yeah.
about
Hmm.
paying more money and getting twice the time because let's just slow it all down because it's the
Yeah.
rushing that makes
Yeah.
things so challenging.
Yeah.
If we could just slow down, you give me a second, I can calm down, my dog can calm down, we'll be all right. But
Hmm.
those 10-minute slots aren't going to do it. Not with a
No.
edgy dog.
Yeah, and this vet that I'm starting to take her to, they actually run a rescue that I do a bunch of work with, or the rescue works there.
Hmm.
And so I've really been super happy with them. I don't know why I didn't go to them sooner, but I mean, I've got access to every vet in the valley, in the Salt Lake Valley. Like I take my dogs to different vets for different things, but yeah, I'm super grateful for them because my last appointment, I was able to be more patient. I taken my time and she's so young. She's only 5 months old right now. And she
Oh,
really is.
little
She's in that weird
sweetie.
fear period where she
Hmm.
is sensitive. She wants to bark at everything. I do not want that to continue into her adult life, and I did have an English
Yeah.
Mastiff the same way at this age, but it scares me, it
Yeah.
scares me to think that no matter what I do, there's still going to be that sensitivity there. And I'm always going to have to kind of guide her, and and I mean, I'm working through my whole process because I want to prove it works. I want to
Yeah.
prove that it
Yeah.
works. It's like, hey, this does work. Like what I teach works. And, being able to prove it out from a puppy through to adulthood. But of course, I'm so respectful of my dogs. I don't want them to be put into situations where they feel like, oh, I have to bite
Mm-hmm.
or I have to be so uncomfortable. So yeah, taking your time at the vet taking your time in scary situations, knowing how to calm your dog down, knowing how to comfort them in all the right situations is so valuable. It's like one of the most valuable things you can ever do, because then they won't pick up some of those bad behaviors, right? Like they won't. They'll be like, oh, cool, you got it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
have to worry
somebody's
about it.
listening to this. I'm going to give you my top tip.
Oh,
Pay attention
yes.
to your dog. That's my top. Pay attention. You cannot pay the bill with your purse over your shoulder and 2 dogs on flexies and a double leash moving around the room. You can't do it. Put your dogs in the
No.
car, come back in, pay your bill. If you can't pay attention to your dogs, you need to change something. That alone, if you're not paying attention, you don't even see your poor dog having a really hard time. So think about how you can pay attention all the time in stressful
Techs
situations.
are more than happy to leave you sitting in that exam room and bring you your bill. They are more than happy to allow the receptionist, just tell them, hey, I'm going to leave my billfold right here with you. I'm going to go put my dogs up. I will be right back. And then you walk back inside. The vet ultimately, especially if you have a good one like the ones that we all seem to have, they want to help you have a successful visit. It is not in their best interest to. So yeah, if you need more time, tell them. If you need, like I told, no, I'm going to hold him. I am absolutely positive that at the age that I am, that with the background that I have, I'm looking at you. You seem to be about 22. I'm positive that I am more qualified, and that doesn't mean that you're not great. It just means that this is
I just have
my
more
dog.
experience.
That's right. And I'm gonna hold him, and that's what we're gonna do. So, and they're good
And
about
I'll
that.
muzzle.
And it's nice to hear.
I'll muzzle.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
feel unsafe, you
Absolutely.
tell me what I need to do so that you feel safe. I do not want anybody uncomfortable, because when people are uncomfortable, they get weird. Weird people get jumpy and all kinds of weird shit, right? So that's bad. I will muzzle. I will cover my dog's head, and I don't just hold the collar. I hold the dog under the collar. I have the dog. There's not going to be a problem here. And then the vet's like, you know what? I believe you. And then we all just go on our way, and it's all good.
I think every dog should be muzzle trained. Every dog. There's no reason to not have your dog muzzle condition. Let's say something happens, like emergency, right? They get hit by a car. Now they're in pain, they're at the vet, something's going on, and now they have to put a muzzle on. I hate that experience for any dog in a painful situation. I hate it. Same
Or
thing
being
with
a crate for the first time.
Exactly. Crating and muzzling, and obviously just being comfortable on a leash. Those are things that I think if every dog in the universe had those 3 things under their belt, we would have less dogs in shelters. We would keep more dogs in homes. Vets would be a lot happier with us. But yeah, I take my dogs in. My 2-legged dog, he would always go into the vet muzzled, even though 99.9% I knew he would not bite. But he was, he came to me feral. So it's like, hey, guess what? I at least want you guys to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if this doesn't
When
feel
you said
comfortable.
2-legged dog, you know how people call their kids 4-legged kids? I thought you meant a human child. So then I'm like,
No,
2-legged
actually,
dog.
2-legged
I
dog.
always muzzle them. I'm like, this is getting weird.
Not to say that I wouldn't, because sometimes they're worse. Like they're worse. I would love that option at the doctor for my kids. Shoot, don't tell me when I said that. God.
Stick a sock in their mouth, right? Oh, that
Yes.
sounds good.
Yeah, please, just please. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I mean, I feel it's just good for every dog. I feel like they should know that crate training and know how to be good on a leash. Those are 3 things. Please just do those things. Let's make it happen.
Those are very good tips to end with.
I love it.
We got
I
around
love
the
you
dogs.
guys.
It took us a while. We're just having a good old time.
We talked about dogs,
right?
Yeah, at the
We had a
end,
good
and a
time.
lot of other things. And we need to have a part 2 where we go into why people own exotic animals in depth.
You know what, dude? I've got guests.
Yeah,
If we want to have guests about that topic, I've got guests. So
It's just
yeah,
so
they got stories,
fascinating to
man.
me.
They got stories. Let's make it happen. This is really great, you guys. I really
It
love
was
being able to connect
fun.
with you guys. So I know it's been a minute. I know we tried to do this a while ago and just didn't make it
Thank you for your
happen.
patience.
So it's great. I love being able to connect with other people and do these fun things and get to know you guys better, because you guys are doing really awesome things in this industry. And I feel like us people being able to see us connecting and supporting, they're going to keep doing that, and I think it's so important, because damn, it just feels like it's lacking some days. I hate it.
So glad you're here, and everything you said, I agree. I think creating appropriate bridges in the industry among the thinking people who want to think things through, intelligent talk. It's really, really important for us to do
Imperative.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to happen.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hey,
I will
thanks, you
be.
guys.
We'll be. I think we're going to be
Thank
back
you.
next Wednesday too. Again, aren't we? We don't have a break next Wednesday. I think we're back next Wednesday with Matt Beisner.
Fun.
Most excellent.
All the peeps. Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks.